Good, beautiful Sunday, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another free learning program of the HR Cafe, Usapang Buhay, Trabaho at Iba Pa. We are at episode 111, and today is October 23rd, Sunday. The topic that we'll be having later on in our second part of the HR Cafe program is about understanding the HR business partnering role. And we would have HR leader Paul Herrera to actually discuss about what's the importance and what is the HR business partnering role and its importance to the business and its impact to the organization. So let's start our program. Um, the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa, is an online talk show sponsored by the Philippines HR Group. And my name is Coach Darwin Rivers. I am the founder and president of the Philippines HR Group. I'm a certified life coach, a public speaker, motivational speaker, and HR consultant. I'm also the vice president for global HR operations of a BPO company. And joining with me today, of course, our constant Mentor Tina Coang. Mentor Tina is an operations and HR leader with broad local and overseas experience. She's a general manager of a retail company, best known also for online content and blog tinaandmanil.com. She is also one of the top 100 Filipinas in LinkedIn for 2021. Ladies and gentlemen, Mentor Tina Coang. Belated happy birthday, Mentor Tina.
Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat, and thank you so much for everybody who greeted me on my birthday last week. My heart is really full and I'm very happy to join this community. I'd like to greet Daday Kalahedino, who is our early bird and is watching from Paranaque. I hope everybody else will also leave their name where they are right now in the Philippines or elsewhere and where they are working so that we can give them a shout out sa show.
Okay, so let's start our program, Mentor Tina. Here at the HR Cafe, we provide timely news and updates. We impart knowledge and experience that are value adding and beneficial to our audience. We discuss problems, issues, and challenges and provide answers and resolutions through the help of our guest resource. If there are any new technologies or processes, we discuss it here at the program because we would like to make sure that you are updated with industry's best practice.
Mm.
And if your company is hiring, please feel free to post your job openings at the comment section because the HR Cafe is also a virtual job board and we would like to connect prospective employees to prospective employers. Here at the HR Cafe, we would like to bridge understanding between employers and employees, and at the end of the day, to provide inspiration and motivation to the Filipino working community. Magandang hapon po. This is another episode of the HR Cafe. We'll start our program, Mentor Tina. We've been doing this for more than 2.5 years now. We
Mm.
are, by the way, the longest running
Mm.
online talk show, HR online talk show in the Philippines. Tandaan niyo yan, now we are the longest running online talk show here in the Philippines. And we're very happy and passionate we are able to continue doing this for the community. Now, our wow quote for the week comes from a very well-known business leader, and also a talk show host. This is Oprah Winfrey, and according to Oprah Winfrey, you need to surround yourself only with people who are going to take you higher. Let me repeat this. Surround yourself only with people who are going to take you higher. This is wisdom coming from Miss Oprah Winfrey. How does this particular wow quote for the week resonates to you? Our audience, please share it to us. Put it at the comment section. Anong ibig sabihin nitong quote ito para sa inyo? At ano, paano nyo ito isinasa sa buhay? We'll wait for your answers, but for now, let's hear from Mentor Tina.
Hmm. Sa akin, once you, 'di ba sa akin, a lot of success and achievement comes from lakas ng loob. Because if you want to be more than what you are, it entails a lot of risk. I've noticed that it is not always the case na those surrounding you, yung mga minamahal mo sa buhay, sinusuportahan ka palagi sa endeavor mo. In fact, so many loved ones are the number one parang risk taker sa inyo kasi sasabihin nila na, ay naku, wag mo gawin yan kasi number one, baka mapagod ka, baka wala ka ng oras para sa amin, wala yung pera mo, yung savings mo, baka mawala. So there's a lot of emphasis on wag mo na gawin yan kasi baka natatakot lang ako sa'yo kasi baka mag-fail ka tsaka ma-disappoint ka lang. 'Di ba? May ganun tayo
Correct,
eh.
correct,
And
correct.
in fact, ang mga nagsasabi ng ganyan, mas masakit pa kasi sila yung mga parents mo,
Close
jowa
mo.
mo, kapatid
Mm.
mo, best friend mo, 'di ba? Kasi kung ibang tao naman ang nagsasabi, okay lang, wapakils, 'di ba? But if it's somebody that you really love and you think that they know you, it really hurts a lot. And when that happens, you start to doubt yourself. Sasabihin mo, ay, dahil kilala nila ako, tama ba yung sinasabi nila? Tama ba na parang hindi ko pa kaya, na hindi pa ako pwedeng lumipat ng trabaho kasi komportable na ako dito, kailangan ko yung income. Sila talaga yung nagsasabi na sa harapan, very love ka nila, pero because they are so afraid for your benefit, they discourage you. And sa akin, it's really difficult eh, 'di ba? Kasi on one time mahal mo sila, but another time parang you want to be more than what you are today.
Correct.
And syempre you want the love and encouragement and the support of the people surrounding you. Sa
Agree.
akin lang is this, you have to determine if ito talaga yung gusto mo or hindi. Kasi when you make decisions in life, when you look back, you cannot blame people for the chances you didn't take or for the chances you took. Kasi buhay mo yan eh. So even if yung loved ones mo sinasabi, ay wag mo gawin yan. Pero gustong gusto mo pa rin gawin, gawin mo. Kung ayaw mong gawin, huwag kang mapapilit, right? Kasi it's your life, your choice, your consequence. But what's important is when you do something very courageous, as much as possible, don't shut off the negative talk. Mahirap na nga yung gagawin mo, nagre-risk ka na nga, tapos papakinggan mo pa yung mga taong humihila pa sa'yo pababa. Parang ang hirap, 'di ba? Parang syempre you want people to boost you up and say, kaya mo yan, kayang-kaya mo yan.
Correct.
Hindi yung mga tao na parang, sigurado ka ba kaya mo? Because that type of negative self-talk really does something to your self-esteem. You will think, kaya ko ba talaga yan? You will doubt. And when it comes to taking risk, sometimes you have to be courageous. You have to listen to your heart and you have to do what you think is right. Para later on, walang regrets. I'm actually doing something right now which is quite big. And tama talaga yung wow quote of the week because some of my loved ones are not very encouraging because they're afraid nga na baka wala na akong time for my family or wala na akong time sa business, yada yada. But the thing is, if you really believe in your dream, do it because life is too short for regrets. And at the end of the day, you cannot blame your loved ones or those surrounding who discourage you for the chances you never took. Regret
Agree.
is very hard. Mawala na lahat. Sige, mawala na savings mo. Pero at least nagawa mo pa rin. Versus makikinig ka sa mga ginagawa mo, sa mga katabi mo, and then later on, magre-regret ka na wala kang nagawa. Lalong-lalo na ngayon in a very inflationary, uncertain world environment, it is not always a good thing to hide under the bed. sometimes if there is a risk to be taken, kahit nakakatakot, gawin mo pa rin. Kasi at
Correct.
least nagawa mo na. Para lang yung magdamahal, 'di ba? Okay lang mabigo basta nag-try kaysa hindi nag-try tapos nabigo. O, 'di ba? Ganon. Coach Darwin, ikaw naman.
Well, naku, napakaganda ng sinabi mo, Mentor Teen. Ako naman, when I first read this wow quote for the week, it reminds me of a local saying na
Mm.
ah, tawag dito, ang bulok na kamatis 'pag inilagay mo sa isang bayong ng mga fresh na kamatis, yung buong bayong ng kamatis ay mabubulok. Or similarly, there's an English saying that birds of the same feather flocks together. What I'm trying to say here is that you really need to watch out for the people who you associate with and the people who you work with, the people who you feel close with, and the people who you share your life with. Because the people that surrounds you, your family, your friends, your office mates, your co-workers or your co-church members, these are the people that one way or another affects your personal life. And 'di ba napakarami tayong mga kwentong naririnig na star pupil ng elementary, star honor student ng high school, pero pagdating ng college na barkada, yung barkada niya naging masamang influence sa kanya, hindi naging maganda yung takbo ng buhay niya. Kasi yung mga, sabi mo nga, Mentor Tina, yung mga tao na kapaligid sa atin, ito yung magbibigay ng limitation sa atin. Ito yung magsasabi sa atin na, naku, hindi natin kaya yan. Or naku, hindi mo magagawa yan. Naku, wag ka na mangarap kasi nandito ka na lang. Believe me, there's a lot of people with either with good intentions or bad, with malice or not, people would always try to subconsciously uh, be worry about another's person's success. Now, what you need to do is, for you to avoid that, try to look into the people or the environment that you are in right now. Sino ba itong mga taon to na nakakapag-drive sa akin para maging successful? Sino ba itong mga taon to na nakakapag-inspire sa akin? Sino ba itong mga taon to na minomotivate ako kahit na alam nila na meron akong limitation pero naniniwala sila sa atin. Naniniwala sila sa akin. And you know what? That's the reason why parents are very good examples of the people na nagbe-build ng kumbaga ng foundations, kasi yung mga parents natin sila yung talagang nagmo-motivate at nag-inspire sa ating mga sa mga anak, di ba? So I would like to remind everyone that to look into the people that you associate with. It's okay to cut ties with people who you feel is not contributing to your success. You can be civil to them, but look for the people, search for the people who will inspire you to be better, who will inspire you to be more, because these are the people who will bring you to success. So that's it from my end. Mentor Tina, napakarami nating audience ngayon from Luzon, Visayas, Mindanao. At meron din mga tawag ito, nagbigay na kanilang pananaw para sa Wow Quote for
Yes.
the Week. Would you like to share it to us?
Yes, I'd like to greet Brie Gonzalez, who says, "Good afternoon, everyone." Maria Evelyn Gallo is greeting us from Iloilo. Gracia del Villar Maniago is saying, "This is Gracia from IREC Corporation, an indoor playground manufacturing located in Subic Bay." Mary Chris Soriano Binluan is calling from Mactan, Cebu. Bob Cruz, napakagaling tao yan si Bob. Future guest speaker natin yan. Magandang hapon, galing sa Mandaluyong. Brie Gonzalez is saying, "Constantly looking for your people who would positively challenge your abilities and help you improve yourself are the people you need to hang out with more." O, diba?
Correct. Correct,
Mm.
correct. Now, ano nga sabi nga is finding your tribe, finding the right people
Ah,
who will drive you to success. So let's move to our HR question for the week. Nako, isa to sa mga normally tinatanong ng mga fresh graduates or kaya yung mga taong nag-iisip mag-chef or nag-iisip na mag-explore. So we had a posted question at the Philippines HR group at ang tanong nito ay ang tanong ng taong ito ay ganito. I received two job offers. I don't know what to accept. The first job provides higher position but lower salary. The second provides lower position but higher salary. Mga nakikinig at taga-subaybay sa amin ngayon, ano sa tingin nyo ang maipapayo natin sa sa
Ating kaibigan.
taong to, sa ating kaibigan, sa ating colleague na nagtatanong, ano ba mas maimportante? Higher position or position level or salary or benefits? Let's
Hmm.
start with you, Mentor Tina. Since you've been all around from and you've seen
High
also the
salary and
international
low
market.
salary. Naka-high salary na, naka-low salary na uli, 'di ba? Ang tanong kasi diyan, how high? Ang importanteng tanong talaga kung gaano kataas. Kasi kung ang taas lang, kunyari, 18,000 to 20,000, that doesn't make a difference. If 18,000 to 180,000, wait, let's talk, diba? So, ang unang tanong kasi dyan is how high. Number two, talaga, sa akin lang ha, and I'm very curious to see what Coach Darwin and all of you are thinking. Kasi when I accept a job offer, I almost never look at the starting salary. Because for all job offers that I have accepted, I have always been offered more after a period of time. In fact, like meron akong natrabaho before sa bangko, let's assume X, 'di ba? The next offer I got was 50% up, tapos 50% up, tapos 100% up. So that's the amount of increase. Kasi
Please.
your career is not really about the starting offer. Because that offer can be adjusted naman pataas. Or that job will not be your job pag hindi ka naman makapasa sa standards of regularization. What's most important in deciding which one to work is number one, is the type of work that you will do, kung gusto mo ba siya or hindi, at kung magaling ka ba sa trabaho na yon. Kasi for example, if ako, I'm hiring for a position na mas mataas ang sahod, pero hindi naman ako magaling sa position na yon, it's not something that I can be very good at, you might want to reconsider kasi you might be posing and accepting a higher salary more than what you're worth. And hindi ka
Correct.
tatagal talaga sa trabaho na yon. But if you are very good in that position, you will get a promotion slash raise. And if you don't, it just prepares you for a higher offer later on, if not in the company, but elsewhere. Number two, important is culture. Do you like the people you work with and work for? Because if you don't really like your company, it goes beyond your values, no matter how high that position might be, hindi ka rin tatagal niyan because it again goes against your core authentic self. So if your
Correct.
company you're entering is evil, na manloloko, ang taas ka ng sweldo mo, 'di ba? Pero ang tanong, manloloko ka rin. Kung hindi ka naman manloloko, it's not something you will be able to stay. Three, it's also the convenience. Is the location, mataas nga ang posisyon, 2 hours commute, 3 hours commute. Malapit ang posisyon, magkocross ka lang ng street. Travel time do matter, especially in the Philippines, because the shorter the travel time to your work, the better your mental health, right? Ayaw mo naman na nag-bus, nag-jeep, nag-taxi, lahat na pinuntahan mo para na makapasok. Number four is, what type of age are you in? Kasi if you're already at an older age, it might not matter. But if you're in the beginning of your career, what does it matter if yung difference of salary maliit lang eh? 'Di ba? Kasi it's not, if you're 20 and you're given a salary, that's not gonna be your salary when you're 40. And if it is, you're the problem, not the salary. For me, the best investment you can make is to invest in yourself and increasing your intrinsic value to your employers now and tomorrow. Lalong-lalo na, 'di ba, ang mga tao, naku, ang taas na ng presyo ng mga bilihin. Mataas na yung bigas, mataas na yung parang gasolina, mataas na yung renta. Ang tanong ko is, well, magkano sahod mo? Kasi ultimately, ang pinakamagaling combating ng inflation is yung galing mo. Kung mas magaling ka, mas mataas din yung salary offer mo. Kung mas mataas ang salary offer mo, I'm sorry pero kahit tumaas ng piso, it doesn't really matter kasi your value for a person, your salary as a whole can really take on that inflation. Always invest in yourself and the value that you provide for your employers and the people around you. And honestly, that offer that you get today doesn't really matter because what matters really is the offers that you will get not just today but tomorrow and the year after and the year after and the year after. Kasi ako I've never had a salary na pareho lang over the last couple of years. I've always had my salary increased without demand. And you have to ask yourself why. And I hope that all of you will look at that factor instead of magkano yung offer sa'yo from the very beginning. O, diba? Coach Darwin, ikaw naman.
Ako, nasabi mo na lahat ng mga ng mga
Hindi,
dapat
ma'am,
nilang
experience mo kasi ikaw yung higher salary.
nasabi mo na
higher.
lahat ng mga ng mga dapat nilang alalahanin whenever they're trying to make a decision on choosing a higher salary, lower possession, or lower possession, higher salary, or lower higher salary. Ako for me, ang masasabi ko lang is what's really important for you right now and what are your aspirations and your career objectives in
Mm,
your short and long term. Kasi sabi nga ni Mentor Tina, hindi yung offer ang importante eh. Ang
mm,
importante, ano yung matututunan mo doon sa role. Kasi yung matututunan mo doon sa role, yung mabibigay sa iyo ng company na yon, yung exposure sa trabaho, yung exposure sa mga business leaders, yung pag-upskill mo for your current role and experience, yun ang magpapataas ng sahod mo. Hindi naman kasi o sige mag-accept ako ng higher compensation pero lower yung tawag dito, lower yung level o yung position. Pero ano pala, hindi naman pala magiging stagnant ka pala dun sa sa offer na yun. Kumbaga wala kang way for you to grow and to learn more, or mag-accept ka ng higher position pero lower salary, pero yung ang kapalit naman pala nito one man team ka naman, 'di ba? So what's your current aspirations right now? And based on your current aspirations, what are your short and long-term goals in terms of your career? That for me will help you aside from the many factors that Mentor Tina has already mentioned, yung tawag dito, yung type of company, yung vicinity, yung offer, overall compensation, yung culture and whatnot. Lahat yan magpe-play eh. Pero at the end of the day, ikaw ang magsasabi kasi yung taas at baba ng sahod o yung taas at baba ng posisyon, definition mo lang yan, ikaw ang magde-define yan, hindi ibang tao. So, again, go back to what's important to you and I hope that you'll be able to make the right decision, not just for now, but also for your future. Okay, Mentor Tina, may mga nagsabi, may mga nag-comment din, no, about this particular
yes.
HR question of the week.
Yes, yes. Sabi po ni Gracia del Villar Maniago, wherever you will go, you will meet, deal with, or live with people who could make or break you. There's a wow quote natin. As we go through life, we have to learn to equip ourselves with values that will be our compass to determine what we want and what to achieve on what weighs on ourselves. So,
That's
tama naman
true.
yun. Oo, wag tayo masyadong tumingin sa pera kasi kung magaling ka, darating ng pera. Sobrang
Correct.
daming pera.
Correct.
diba,
Correct.
Coach Ayan?
And ano ako napagdaanan ko to and I know some HR leaders na pagdaanan to. There are moments in your career that you would face a
Mm.
tawag dito salary
Doubting.
cut off. Hindi
Ah, ah.
mag-offer tatanggap ka ng lower compensation kasi naniniwala ka
Hmm.
dun sa company at naniniwala ka
Hmm.
dun kung ano yung mabibigay sa'yo ng company. So
Hmm.
wag puro pera ang tignan mo kasi your passion, pag naabot mo yung pag talagang you're very passionate on something and you are able to really improve your skills and knowledge, money will follow. That's the truth of it. That's the whole truth of it. Okay, so let's go to our updates. Wait lang. Asa na yung updates with regards to the Department of Labor and Employment? Sinasabi lang po ng DOLE na nag-announce na po ang Pangulong Bongbong Marcos na ang October 31st ay isa na pong special non-working holiday. October 31st po is a Monday. Ito po ay dineclare na non-working holiday para po marami tayong time na makasama ang ating pamilya at para ma-promote pa na rin ang ating local tourism. Kasi nga, ipit nga ang 31 sa Kawan. Kasi 31 is Monday at
Mm.
1, which is also a holiday, a declared holiday, November 1 is a declared holiday,
Mm.
ipit siya sa week. So, nag-declare sila na holiday na ang October 31st. And I think it's very important kasi marami sa ating mga kababayan umuwi pa. Kasi remember, more than 2 years tayong under pandemic. Marami sa ating
Mm.
mga kababayan ang hindi nakadalaw sa kanilang puntod ng mga minamahal nila. Hindi nakauwi sa mga province, hindi nakapagbigay ng respect. So, this is a good opportunity for them to have a long weekend and also go and visit the remains of their loved ones in the cemetery. So yeah, good job for the government in declaring that long holiday. So long holiday po ha, ngayong darating na weekend. Next is for social security system. Pinapaalalahanan lang po ng SSS na pag kayo po ay nagbabayad sa third party o sa accredited collecting partners, hindi po ito napupunta sa SSS. I mean, yung extra na binabayad nyo, halimbawa, nagbabayad kayo sa bayad center o kaya sa bangko, may extra charges po yun above and beyond the bill that you should be paying for SSS. Hindi po yun napupunta sa SSS. Ito po ay napupunta sa collecting partners as service fee for payment of the transactions. It's similar to other government agencies. This is to allow them to recover their investments in IT infrastructure and systems that are needed to implement real-time collection and posting of SSS contributions and loan payments. So the service fee, which normally ranges from a minimum of 6 pesos to 25 pesos, yan po, ay transaction fee above your normal contribution or bill from SSS, ito po ay napupunta sa ating collecting partners. Yun, isa lang pong paalala from SSS. Also, another paalala sa SS na nanggagaling sa SSS, kung kayo po ay may mga magulang na retired na at nasa ibang bansa or yun nga, retired na sila, yung annual confirmation of pensioners o po yung ACOP program, uh, pinapaalala lang po na ito po ay extended. Dapat po ang ending nito ay nag-end siya noong July 30th pero in-extend po ng SSS hanggang katapusan po ng October 2022. So, i-make sure nyo lang po na kung kayo po ay kailangang mag-comply sa ACOP, ay makipag-ugnay na po kayo sa SSS local offices. For more information, you can go to the SSS website and SSS official social media pages. Now,
Mm.
good news from Pag-ibig na Mentor Tina. Ano to, naramdaman ko to dahil ako'y mag-a-apply ng loan sa Pag-ibig. At mukhang, palaging may good news ang Pag-ibig sa atin.
Okay, I'd like to give a little bit of update sa economy kasi natin, 'di ba? We are now the global economy is experiencing a high inflationary environment starting with the US. In the US yata ngayon mga 8% ng inflation eh.
Correct.
So kung nagrereklamo tayo sa inflation sa Pilipinas, lalong-lalo na sa iba't ibang bansa. So one of the ways to combat inflation is to actually buy real estate. Example lang, 'di ba? Sa maraming mga kababayan natin, 'di ba minsan nakatira kayo sa bahay na binili ng tatay at nanay ninyo dati through the help of Pag-ibig Home Loan. Now, tanungin nyo po sa mga magulang ninyo, magkano nila binili yung mga bahay na tinitirahan ninyo ngayon for free? Tanungin mo sa kanila, magugulat ka talaga kung magkano yung nabayaran nila at ngayong mga 15, 20, 30 years later, fully paid na sila. The people who have actually availed of Pag-ibig Home Loan decades before was able to really make money from that purchase because they were able to buy that house that you live in at a much, much, much more cheaper rate than what it is today. Kaya nga sinasabi ko sa mga tao ko, alam mo, huwag niyo yung iwanan ng kayamanan or pera yung mga anak ninyo. Ang gawin na lang po ninyo, kung magkayong dalawang mag-asawa, dalawa anak nyo, gumawa tig-isa na tapos nagwo-work kayong dalawa, just get a Pag-ibig Home Loan. Tapos, 'pag kunyari malaki na yung mga anak mo, yung Pag-ibig loan na yon na fully paid na, yung bahay na yan, yan na lang yung ibibigay mo sa mga anak mo para inheritance. Kasi by that time, that house that you bought today, that house will be worth so much more. So your kids can use that house as income, rental income, or savings of rent kasi by that time, yung renta din tumaas na ng sobrang laki because of inflation. Which means, mga friends, if may extra money kayo and you're working and you're paying your Pag-ibig is not just to loan for the short term, but it's also to loan for homes. Many people can loan up to 6 million
6
pesos.
million.
And if you buy a home today, it might sound very tiring na nagbabayad kayo magkano 10% per year. But if you think about the inflation at 6% per year, talaga tataas talaga ang presyo ng property, lalo-lalo ng lupa. May mura pa sa Taytay, sa Rizal, sa Bulacan, sa Cavite. And trust me, these properties will no longer be that cheap 10 to 20 years later. So sa
Agree.
mga tao, Pag-ibig Home Loan releases grew 27% to a record high of 83.31 billion. And I really wish those na nakikinig sa atin, hindi lang pasok dito, labas dito. If you have the capacity, wala pa kayong home loan, please start looking for a house in Pag-ibig kasi trust me talaga, within 5 to 10 years, kung anong tinitignan mong property ngayon, mas mataas na talaga yung presyo nila than what it is today. Okay? I'm telling you already. Please lang. Kasi because of the inflation. Inflationary right now. Please lang. Okay? Malaking tulong na yan, ha? Libreng economic advice. Next po. And with that, if you have a Pag-ibig loyalty card, you have a 5% discount on food orders in Hapchan. You get a buy one, get one free sa Vision Express with conditions. And it's very easy to apply for Pag-ibig loyalty card. All you have to do is go to a Pag-ibig branch, show your beautiful face, give a little bit of money, and you can get the card na almost immediately. O, diba? Kaya that's the reason why Pag-ibig is one of the best government agencies
Agencies.
that is servicing the Filipino people. Hindi sila mababankrupt, hindi tulad ng iba. Next. Breast Awareness Month is in October, and PhilHealth would like to inform us now there are some ways to prevent breast cancer, but if you do have breast cancer, next slide, PhilHealth reminds us that PhilHealth will sagot 100,000 Z benefit package para sa breast cancer for low to intermediate risk. So pag kunyari kayo ay na-ospital for breast cancer, don't forget to bring your PhilHealth MDR so that you can claim a reducted amount from your hospital bill. Callback channel on that number below pag yung hospital nyo ayaw magbawas ng pera sa bill ninyo. Next po.
Okay, a few words from our sponsors. So, it's Q4. A lot of companies are going into annual outing, Christmas
Mm.
party, or yung mga barkada o mga family naghahanap po ng pupuntahan. Ang El Puerto Marina Beach Resort and Vacation Club ay a partner po of the HR Cafe and the Philippines HR Group. They have hotels and beach resorts in Pangasinan, in Boracay, and also in Palawan. Just reach out to the Facebook page of El Puerto Marina Beach Resort and Vacation Club. Inform them that you are a member of the Philippines HR Group and you will be automatically entitled to exclusive perks and discounts. Okay? Also, we also have partnership with eShield. eShield is a wearable gadget, and eShield is a partner of the Philippines HR Group to promote a healthy lifestyle to your company's employees. If your company is looking for a health and wellness program using wearable gadgets, eShield provides 15% exclusive discounts since you are a member of the Philippines HR Group. Okay, you can check more about eShield at www.shield.me.ph HR. And if you have any questions about HR or life matters, please post it at the main page of the Philippines HR Group in Facebook. If you're also in LinkedIn, nako, we have a growing community in LinkedIn, almost 12,000 na sa LinkedIn. Pero sa Facebook, sa Philippines HR Group, we're now almost 280,000 members. So patuloy lang po kayo sa pagsuporta. We are the largest and most dynamic online community of HR and HR allied professionals. If you have questions, post it at the Philippines HR Group. And as mentioned earlier, the second part of our program, as always, is the free learning program that is offered by the Philippines HR Group and the HR Cafe by inviting speakers that will be speaking about topics that are critical and important to our industry or our profession. Now, I will give the floor to Mentor Tina Coang to properly introduce our guest speaker for today.
Nako, it is a very big pleasure for me to introduce our guest expert, si Paul Herrera, JD, CHRP, and CSSGB. He is awarded as a Top 101 Global Leader in 2019, and he has 15 years of solid end-to-end HR and administrative management experience, 12 years in the IT/BPO/contact center industry, and 3 years in the hospitality, retail financing, service, and telecommunication services. In short, if you want a very all around HR head to manage your huge multinational, Paul Herrera is the person to call kasi kayang-kaya niya ang HR and all of the back end office. As a seasoned HR in all facets, Paul headed a whole support services from his last organization, starting from HR, admin, IT, finance, and legal. He is the best speaker we can find to talk about understanding the HR business partnering role, and his many specialties include strategic sourcing and recruitment and branding, which is uso ngayon, employee and labor relations, comp and benefit, champion organizational development, project and change management, and business development. He is also a fellow Atenean, and we are so proud to have our friend Paul Herrera guest for us today. And with that, Paul, we are so excited.
Paul, are you there?
Ayan, nakita nyo yung mga
Hello,
ano niya.
everyone.
Nandyan lahat, oh. Ikaw na, Paul.
Thank
Ikaw
you,
na.
Coach Darwin and Coach Tina. Thank you for inviting me here again. Previously, I was also a presenter, but right now, I'll be happy to discuss about the HR business partnering role. There's a lot of people right now asking about the HR business partners. Sometimes
Mm.
they thought that HR business partner is the same as HR generalist. Ano ba talaga yung
Mm.
HR business partner natin?
Mm.
That's actually what we will be discussing this afternoon about the
Okay.
HR business partner.
Okay, Paul,
Sir
we'll be
Paul,
giving
we
you the
will
floor.
be... and then Paul, we do have a fan, Bri Gonzalez, that said she's worked with you before. I'm assuming good working experience. Diba? Kaya
Hello,
nga
hello,
marami
hello. Yeah,
explanation
right.
point. Eh. O, sige, we'll be on the back end.
Okay.
All right. Thank you, Coach Tina and Coach Darwin. Okay, it's a blessed afternoon, everyone. It's a good Sunday afternoon to everyone. No, again, my name is Paul Herrera. I'll be your resource speaker for today. For today's topic that we have is understanding the human business partnering role. There's a lot of people asking about the human business partners. No, technically, they thought some organization actually thought that it was a generalist role to be assigned to individual clients. But throughout this afternoon, let's dissect what is the the HR business partnering role. Okay, so um, first we have to define what is business partner. If you have question, just post it. I'll read it through it. I'll read through it. Okay, but I think later on we'll also have the Q&A. Okay. All right. What is HR business partner? HR business partner are human professional. They're also human professional who help align organization strategy with their business strategy. So technically, aligning business strategy to people strategy is not actually part of our core HR functions. We cannot find it in compensation and benefits. We cannot find it in training. We cannot find it in recruitment or talent acquisition. We cannot find it in compensation and benefits, right? The second, that's actually from persona.com. The second definition of HR business partner, according to SHRM, is aligning business objectives with employee and management as designated business units. The position formulates partnership across the HR function to deliver value added service to management and employees that reflects the business objectives of the organization. Okay, so technically, it's the same as the first definition that it really aligns and help organization to meet the people strategy and business strategy and implement it together. Okay, and the third definition, it's a business person with expertise in human resources with a key responsibility to provide progressive, value added solution through collaboration and partnership with business leaders in the identification, prioritization, and building organization capability, behaviors, structure, culture, and process that delivers on business strategy. Let's focus on the three key points that we get from those three definition. Number one, it's like what I said a while ago, it's an organization people strategy with business strategy combined together. And how with these two key points to implement to organization. Like what I said a while ago, you cannot find the implementation of these two in compensation and benefits, labor relation, or whatnot. Okay, so technically, human HR business partner is a separate role to the HR facets. No, this is what we call what that's the reason. Probably that's the reason that we're called business partner because they are the one or they are the POC strategically to business to partner with business and implement its direction. Okay. Number two, the position formulates partnership. There's also again, if you notice, there's also partnership again. No, across the HR function, deliver value-added service to the management. Technically, we partner to deliver value-added service to the management and our stockholders and to our employees. HR business partner for me is actually addressing gaps for both business strategy and employee or people management or people strategy. That's how we do. That's what's the main responsibility of the people of the HR business partner. And lastly, this is actually to provide progressive value-added solution through collaboration and partnering. If you look at the three definition or the three key points that I actually highlight here, there's always an align and partnership for the two definition. So it really defined the HR business partner to be the strategic partner aligning both organizational strategy and business strategy to implement it to organization to make it more um, performance driver, performance, what do you call this? Performance culture driver for the organization. Okay. I know everyone would actually know about Dave Ulrich. He's actually the modern father, the modern um, father of HR, no, modern, sorry, the father of modern HR. Okay. According to him, he is actually where the HR business partner originated. No, the idea is actually popularized by him. According to him, human resource professional before who didn't engage in procedure but with strategy, who deliver real value to the business, helping it both define and achieve its business goals. Why is it a revolutionary concept? Because the HR professional who didn't engage, I think it's the same, no? All right. Technically, what he saw in an HRBP is a strategic advisor. Before, we don't engage with procedure in doing strategy for the business. We don't, the HR before are not joining or collaborating with organization on its business goals. What we do is we care about employees. We do compensation and benefits, we do labor relations, we do talent acquisitions, and so on. But right now, the HRBP is a business partner to deliver the real value and to help organization achieve its goals. So that's actually according to Dave Ulrich, what is HR business partner. All right. This is the model of Dave Ulrich in terms of the HRBP. Before, I'll show you another slide. Before, this is what we have in HR. All of the facets are on the on the right side, and what he wants or what he sees as a modern HR would be on the left. This is where we see the sorry, the HR business partner. We have the employee advocate. We have the change agent. We have the administrative expert. And what does it mean to us as HR? Okay, so they define it. They actually dissect it into four quadrants. No, one would be the change agent, which actually handles staffing, organizational design, performance measurement, enablement. There is the strategic partner, which is the HRVP, which is handling strategic HR planning, HR partner to business lines, culture, and image. We also have the administrative expert. These are compensation and benefits, HRIS, and compliance. We also have on the bottom right, we have the employee advocate. We have the employer relations, labor relations, safety and worker compensation, and diversity and equal opportunity. How do we define those four quadrants? Let's dissecting each. Let's dissect each quadrant right now. Strategic partner, it's actually the one who develops and align the business strategy. The strategic partner fosters system thinking and customer focus. What is change agent? Change agent understands the organization's culture and institutionalizes change capability within the organization, assisting the line managers to lead and facilitate change. So, what is admin expert? Admin expert, well, it's actually creates and delivers effective and efficient HR processes that tailor fit and unique to business needs. Okay. What is employee champion? These are champion would help implement actions to enhance the human capital contribution. This would actually help workforce commitment and equitable people processes and practices. Okay, so those are the modern. This is actually the modern HRBP model by Dave Ulrich. Okay. So what are the roles and responsibilities of HRBP? I have an interview before with some candidates. I actually asked them, they are applying for an HRBP, and I actually asked them, what are your responsibilities and what are the things that you're doing in your current company? Most of the responsibilities that he discusses to me is all about the HR generalist role. Okay, this is actually doing talent acquisition, doing compensation and benefits, doing payroll, doing the 201 filing, doing the labor relations, attending to some hearings, and so on. Um, those are the job of an HR generalist. Don't get me wrong, HR generalist is different from being an HRBP. Okay, what is the key roles of an HRBP? Number one, it's acting on a single point of contact of internal clients. Technically, they are assigned to clients. Some companies they do have HRBP. Um, they call it HRBP or individual contributor because they don't have staff. Okay. Number two, supporting internal clients in achieving their business goals. Why? What's that again? Supporting internal clients in achieving business goals. So technically, there's no compensation benefits, right? Helping the HR COEs. Have you heard of COEs or HR COEs or Center of Excellence? Center of Excellence. These are or the shared service. These are actually the where the compensation and benefits, talent acquisition being part of. Okay. So helping this HR COEs to deliver state-of-the-art HR processes. Number four, providing instant and immediate feedback on all the HR processes, procedures, and initiatives. Number five, leading change HR. Number six, designing robust succession pipelines and supporting the talent management to the entire organization. Number seven, acting as the independent advisor for employees in tough situations. What are the responsibilities? These are actually setting challenging HR goals in the close cooperation with HR and internal clients. We are also selling HR projects and initiative to our internal clients. Technically, we are the implementer of the HR projects to our clients or internal clients. Okay. We are also acting as project manager to a large cross-functional change management projects. We are also developing succession plans and manage the performance of the management cycle for internal clients. Okay. Being the contributing team member of the HR, designing cross-functional development programs in cooperation with training specialists, and keeping HR processes in a full compliance with the legal and regulatory framework. Technically, what is the HRBP role is number one, we have to identify, we have to know the business because we are the one creating strategic programs, projects on how we address issues and concerns internally. We have to understand their direction or the business direction because we have to align what specific projects on HR that we can help the business to grow, the business to achieve its goal, and align with employee on how we do implement the business goals and align it to employee management because technically the role of business HRBP is to address the gap or meet the gaps between the organizational and the employee strategic direction. Okay, according to AIHR, this is the future ready HR business partner role responsibility, strengthening company culture and employee experience. We have the using of data to influence decision. We have to empower leaders. We are also building competitive organization, putting business acumen to work, being coach and consultant, preparing the future work of HRM. Um, if you're looking for this simple illustration of the roles and responsibilities, this is a different. That's why they've already said that HRBP is revolutionary HR, because technically there is a decision making that you have to influence your partners. There is a company culture and employee experience responsibilities in you as an HR business partner to influence the organization. Okay. You are also empowering leaders. It's not training leaders, but empowering leaders. Okay. You also have to build competitive organization. What do you mean by competitive organization? Competitive organization, that means that you have to make sure that all the direction were aligned and all the direction were achieved by both organization and both employees. Okay. Putting business acumen to work. What I mean by business acumen, you have to understand, and you have to be a business owner to be a business partner. Because if you don't understand your business, if you don't understand what's your core business, you will not be effective as HR business partner, because you cannot align what are the direction of the organization and how can you translate that to employees. So business acumen is a very important, I would say, competency of being an HR business partner. Coach and a consultant. Why is it coach and a consultant? Because technically your business, your client will ask you about what are the issues. I mean, what are the solutions that we can do, that we can formulate for these specific problems that we have. For example, we are not meeting the performance, or we are not meeting the goal of the organization because of the employee performance. So we have to identify what are the specific, or what are the solutions that we can do, or what are the projects that we can do to help the organization meet at a certain metrics, and deliver what is necessary for the business. Okay. Okay. There's another definition or role of an HR business partner. We are considered a salesperson because we have to sell the internal solutions and HR projects to the organization or to our client. HRBP goals and objectives. Uh, we share, sorry, HRBP share goals and objective to human resource and the internal client. This would make us role HRBP highly complex, because we're not just dealing with comben, we're not just dealing with talent acquisition. We're actually dealing with clients together with our internal HR, and that we have to align both. And also we have to lead the implementation of of our business direction to to meet the direction of, I mean, the organizational goal. Okay. HRBP also leads HR processes for internal clients. They are all employees are hired. Performance management is smoothly running. Succession plan developed and top talents are identified. HRBP proactively collects requirements and identifies issues, because we have to coordinate, and HRBP designs a plan to coordinate with internal client and ask for the help for HRCOEs. HRBP combine existing HR solutions and request adjustment from HR Center of Excellence. HR leads projects for internal client and involves employees from HRCOEs to ensure the solution of universal for the entire company. And finally, aligning business strategies and HR strategies to address gaps between management and employees to achieve the business goals. All right. Technically, on the role of the business partner, like what I said a while ago, it's not a traditional transactional work that we do in HR. Right now, most of the companies, especially those big companies in BPO, mostly in BPOs, they actually implement a business partnering role already, which the goal is to give a specific solution for each individual um, clients. No, for example, we don't give them a compensation and benefits person. We give them an HRBP because the HRBP, like what I said a while ago, it's a highly complex position that deals with problems and solutions and how we address business issues and employee issues together to achieve its goal. What are the benefits of HR business partner? Technically, this is the POC that keep all tracks of requests and open item agenda. This is also known as internal client that can choose the right negotiation approach to implement common HR solutions. HRBP also understands the business and internal clients that can represent the interest of client to human resources. They are also adjust the schedule to reach the goal and avoid frustrating internal client. HRBP can also design custom tailored solution in the case of urgent need of the internal client. HRBP can also cross functional teams working on a complex organization wide solutions. And HRBP know the top talents and can implement cross functional talent development program. What there are some challenges of an HRBP that's being noted for the past few years when it was implemented. HRBP can forget to represent HR as a client. He can start representing the client in HR. Sometimes an HRBP forget that they are part of the HR team that represents the client. No, because technically they are more sometimes they are more attached to the client because most of the time they are actually other I mean all of the time they are um, they are collaborating with the client. They are asking about issues and concerns. They are developing programs. So that's the reason I think why they forget they are part of HR. HRBP can change goals and objectives of HR to support just one internal client, not the entire organization. HRBP is always assigned to one client. That's why they are called individual contributor. And sometimes they change goals and objective of HR because of the issues and the needs of the client. HRBP does not have to recognize the priorities right, and HR can work on difficult projects which are not beneficial for the company. These are some of the challenges. No? They don't recognize priorities. Actually, sometimes they act on what is urgent, and I mean what is pending for resolution. Number four, the unskilled HRBP can overload COEs that can put all priorities in danger. Meaning, sometimes we accept all the issues and we give, I mean, HRBP can accept all the issues and throw it to COEs without any intervention, what we can do to help them. And that's actually overloading the COEs that can also be a challenge for an HRBP if they are not skilled on handling the HRBP role. HRBP is not able to negotiate with other HRBPs to achieve a win-win situation. Sometimes we only look at what are the issues at hand. We don't also consider what are the other people issues that we have to prioritize. That's I think the reason why sometimes negotiation, I mean, not sometimes, negotiation is very critical. Um, it's a very critical skills to an HRBP because you have to negotiate on a business with your client, you have to negotiate with your HR, and you have to negotiate with your employees. HRBP and COEs cannot agree on the solution to be presented to the internal client. Sometimes there's a disagreement between the COEs and the HRBP in terms of how do we handle issues and concerns of our clients. But what is important is we have to identify and we have to prioritize and we have to bargain on the right solutions for our client. This is for better to deliver our solutions to those issues. Remember, HRBP and COEs is under one team, which is human resources. Technically, we have to agree on one thing to deliver and to implement for the common good of the company and the common good of our employees. And finally, HRBP can push an issue by saying it is for the client. I would say some of the HR practitioners actually doing it. That instead of us being accountable of what do we have to do for the client, for the employees, and for our work, but sometimes we do it, we push it. It's because of the client. It's because of the client. You have to do it for me because of the client. But the accountability has to be there as an HRBP because that's very important as an HR business partner. Okay, why HR business partner mission is a critical role. The skilled HR business partner helps the internal clients to find the best solutions. This is how critical the HRBP role is. You have to know, you have to be equipped on um, organizational change and management for you to give them the best solution. The HRBP can also help utilize workforce the optimal way, meaning we can use them, we can help the client to use our workforce to its efficiency. We have to find way on how we do that. HRBP can balance ideas of HR management team with the feedback provided from the business. We have to identify and we have to weigh the HR team's decision or feedback that we can provide to the business. We have to make sure that it will not compromise the performance. Okay, we have to weigh what is the best for our business, what is applicable for our business, and what is not applicable for our business. Okay, number four, HRBP can help to set goals and objectives of human resources to reflect the real needs of the company. HRBP can help to identify what is the best for our business. That's the reason why we have to know by heart your business, I mean, your client, because that's where you define, that's where you look for a solution that will be best for the organization, I mean, for your client. HRBP knows employees of the internal client can find the right development programs for them and can move them internally to a new positions. We know our clients. That's number one. We have to know our clients. Number two, we have to know our employees. Okay. Because if we know the client and we know the employees, we would identify what programs, what development programs we can help them for the organization to achieve its goals, no? And who for the employee that we can see that this development program would be applicable for them to achieve and to meet in the middle on how do we implement and how do we optimize their performance. And number six, HRBP can lead projects and utilize knowledge gained from internal clients. This is how important the HRBP would understand your internal clients, your business, and your people. Because technically, this is where you get your projects, this is what you get your ideas on how to do, on how to create, on how to implement a project, and how to utilize this knowledge to help your client perform. Yeah, to help your client perform. Okay, I actually list down some of the basic competencies of an HRBP. Business acumen, like what I said a while ago, it's very important because you have to know that you have to know your business. You have to know the core of your business. You have to know what's going on, what's happening in your business. That's very important. Relationship building, relationship building because you have to lead and you have to be good in terms of relationship building to your client, to your employees, and of course to your COPs. Okay. Leading change, like what I said a while ago, there's a lot of things that you have to create programs and projects to address issues and concerns of your team, of your client. Innovative, you have to be innovative in all of your programs that would align, that would tailor fit on your client requirements. Influencing. Influence is very important to an HRBP because technically, if you don't know how to influence others, you cannot implement your programs. And they would not probably say, I trust you because you don't know this, because you don't know this. So technically, influence is really a big, it's really a good um, skills that you have. Okay. Courageous communication. Communication is very important as well because if you don't know how to communicate right, definitely you cannot influence other people or your client or your CO or your employees to do things. Leading with data. Leading with data is very important because you have to identify, you have to know, you have to identify, and you have to present to your clients what is your data in terms why you are implementing this kind of activities or this kind of programs. And of course, agile, you have to be agile all of the time because you have to identify and you have to be more flexible in terms of implementing strategies that would help the business to achieve its goals. All right, here are actually some of the smart goals that was set by AAHR. One would be ambitious but realistic. I believe we all know about what's smart, right? Smart is specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time bound. Okay, so this is the HRBP goal that we have to set. Be ambitious but realistic. We have to start with a non-smart goal and revise it, work off organization and developmental objectives, create an action plan for achieving your goals, and evaluate the progress of the result. Technically, these are some goals that you also have to set for your HRBP to handle your client. Okay, how to transform your organization to an HR business partnering role. Number one, you have to identify the timing. We have to timing and approach. That's very important because the role of a HR business partner is examined and transformed during the implementation of the shared service model. However, this process can be done at a later point, but it was not completed initially. Technically, timing, you have to understand what are the process, what are the implementation, and how do you define. Are we ready? Um, are the integration of organizational performance, are we at that level already? Define. You have to identify and you have to define clearly the importance of the HRBP to your organization. Okay. You have to identify and communicate to the business what constitute an HR, a successful HR business partner to organization. You have to know what model, you have to identify what are the things that you have to do, what are the competencies, what are the requirements that you have, and consumer input. Are your clients ready? Are your clients aware or how they will accept this model? And competency definitions, technically, you have to identify your people would have these competencies to transform your organization to an HR business partner model. And of course, assessment. Technically, this is the final stage of transforming your organization to an HR business model partner. You have to identify what method you have to do, what are the timing, what are the process, and how will you communicate that to your partner and to your organization. And finally, the technically developing of the whole process, developing of the whole model before sharing it to your client. And that's very important. Okay. How is it to be an HR business partner? According to Andy Hedge, he is the head of learning and development of BDO Stoy Hayward. A BP should be beyond being operationally excellent. They should be a player. Okay, the HRBP needs to experience in reward recruitment and employee LOD, LND, and employee industrial relations. Remember, an HRBP is not outside the HR area. They are also performing an HR, they are also representing the client to the COEs or HR COEs. Technically, you have to be knowledgeable on the HR facets. Okay. Additional core skills for facilitating change and influencing strategy includes consultancy, for example, analysis, problem solving, facilitation, and developing business cases, project management, numeracy, employer brand management, including engagement. These are some of the requirements or the responsibilities as well on how to be an HR business partner. That's why they said that's why Andy Hedge said HRBP should be beyond being operational excellent. They should be a player. How about Pete Peterson? He's a senior vice president of HR for HP. What interests my boss fascinates the hell out of me. The HR VP able to operate at a strategic level is more important than getting a hung up of strategy per se. This requires challenging received wisdom and proposing new ideas that may contribute to better decision making, strategic decisions. Technically, HRBP is more on giving more and contributing ideas on a strategic decisions. It's not always a very technical or transactional HR that you have to do as an HRBP. Prompting deep thought among colleagues, especially when they are under pressure, having a credibility and authority that comes from understanding, insight, and curiosity about the business, and acting as a critical friend to business team. This is how critical being an HR business partner. You have to know, you have to have a wisdom, you have to have a lot of ideas because technically business is giving you a lot of time, I mean giving you a lot of challenges, a lot of issues and concerns on how we deliver those projects. According to Andy Smith, the project lead of HR organizational alignment of Nestle, the HRBP should be specialist in operational HR and people performance, while the COE specialists are expert in their particular area. According to Leslie Robertson, BP's relationship skills should be enable them to facilitate on how HR operates as a whole. That's part of the job, meaning regular dialogue and knowledge sharing between your COEs and the HRBP is very important because um, you have to identify the positions. You have to identify the issues You have to identify strategies that would address the complex issues of the organization, especially your client. Okay, and clarifying the ground rules and reporting lines governing individual and joint work, share development processes to encourage the cross fertilization of ideas between generalists and specialists. Above all, HRBPs and COEs need jointly to ensure that they actually deliver solutions to the business needs, not imposing what they should think it should have, but meeting ground should be the business, not HR, as a member of the working group. Meaning, we have to identify what are the ideas that would help one another to deliver a win-win situation for each issues that we have in the business. We are not imposing what they have to do, but we deliver and we collaborate with our client and also with our internal HR on how we deliver the best and win-win situation for everyone. Okay, if you were asking me about what is your career path as an HR business partner, definitely you can be, I mean, you can be an HR business on strategic HR matters. This can be an HR, HR director, global HRBP, or HR manager. Still a lot of opportunities for an HR business partner if you want to be on the strategic side. If you want to be on specific domain of HR, you can be a chief learning officer, you can be an LD manager, L&D consultant, you can be a diversity officer or diversity manager or specialist. You can be an OD executive. These are actually the specific HR facets, no? Because technically, like what I said a while ago, it's not always the strategic part of business that you have to go through if you're a business partner. You also have to understand what is, you also have to know the HR facets or the HR facets. So this can be your path as well, a career path as well. Or if you want to work on implementation of HR technologies and digital solutions, you can be a shared service manager or HR operations, HR analyst, or HR Scrum manager. Technically, these are the digital and technological aspect of HR. Okay, and I think that that will be the last slide that I have. Let me know if you have questions or clarifications about the presentation.
Ayan, Sir Paul.
Hi,
Is there a
Coach
way for
Tina.
them to contact you for either consultancy or for speaking engagements?
They can actually message me to LinkedIn. My name is
Mm.
Paul Herrera or Facebook also. I'm also accepting a message from Facebook.
Okay. How many based on ano dun sa the scene that you see in the local Philippine HR scene, how many are real HR business partners? Kasi parang it's parang buzzword that's mentioned all the time. Pero sino ba nakikita mo? Parang how marami ba? Or actually lesser than when we expect? And how will
Um,
you
uh,
know kung talagang HR business partner yung kausap mo or hindi? 'Di ba?
all
Kasi
right.
iba yung nagsasabi, iba yung gumagawa.
Right. Thank you for that question, Coach Tina. No? Technically, in an organization, like for example, for BPO setting, there's really a lot, less HRBP compared to those people under the center of excellence. Because like what
Mm.
I said, usually the people who are under of excellence, these are talent acquisition, compensation and
Mm.
benefits, labor relations. But
Mm.
there's only one, probably in every 500, 200 to 500 employees, there's one HRBP that we're talking to. No, technically,
Mm.
the role of them is really to understand. the
Mm.
business issues, and how do we implement solutions, and how
Mm-hmm.
do we align the business objectives and the employee objective to implement one direction.
How realistic is it for somebody from the HR practice na nag-take ng HR in college to be a bona fide HRBP? In the next, how would you, kunyari ikaw, may nag-start ka, graduate ko lang ng HR, diba? Fresh graduate, let's assume PUP. Ano yung ma-recommend mong career ladder year on year para umabot sa stage na yon concretely ha?
Okay. For me, I would suggest they have to undergo, if they're a fresh graduate, they have to undergo and
Mm.
experience the Center of Excellence first, because they would actually learn recruitment, training and development, compensation and benefits. Because when you're an HR business partner, it is also expected that you know those facets of HR. And
Mm. Mm.
in for you to be in the center of excellence, your critical thinking, your decision making, those are being sharpened, and you will experience um a good decision making when you go through the center of excellence. Because technically, for example, for labor relations, you cannot just decide on one case alone because of what you will see, right? You also
Mm.
have to think, you also have to process what are these things surrounding the case. And that's where decision making is very important. And
Mm.
that's one of the, I think, training for you to become a
Mm.
good HRBP, because like mostly HRBP is more on decision making and
Mm.
processing on what we can help the client.
The largest hugot kasi ng mga fresh graduates is the lack of mentorship that is happening inside the companies. They feel kasi na the reason why I am not advancing in my career is I don't have a good boss that teaches me the steps from A to Z. Kasi diba when they were in school, parang there is a teacher talaga that's why the teacher is going to give them an overview, may exercise pa, may quiz pa. But when they get to the real world, they find that a lot of companies do not actually have such mentors. And such mentors are often quite busy with the day-to-day operations. And don't, kaya nang lumatating yung cycle na parang, I'm not learning because I'm not given a chance to learn and nobody here is actively teaching me. When that happens, Paul, how do you advise people to to act? Are they just going to be sitting ducks and waiting for some savior, a really good leader to come into their company so that they can start learning? Or what can they do to actively take advantage, to take charge of their careers, diba? If this is what they
Right.
want to do.
Right. You know what, Coach Tina, I would like to share my experience before.
Yan, oh.
I have a male boss before
Mm.
na pag lumapit ka sa kanya, ang tatanungin niya sa'yo, so anong solusyon mo?
'Di ba? Lahat
Alam
'yan,
mo
eh, lahat
yon?
'yan, eh. Maraming
Right,
gano'n,
right,
maraming gano'n, maraming gano'n.
right. Actually, I'm during that time, I told myself na parang he's not helpful. He's not helpful at all for me. So what I did personally, I actually enrolled some trainings. So I would have a better understanding of my craft. I would have a better understanding of each facets of HR.
Hmm.
And then I take it as a challenge that when I go
Hmm.
to my boss and ask me about the solutions that I would have, I always give two to three solutions of what I can do,
Ayun.
right?
Hmm. Hmm.
Sometimes all of these solutions are nothing for him. But at
Hmm.
least you tried your best, right? Sometimes
Hmm.
kasi hindi mo masasabi, I mean, not all people can give you a lot of time to train,
Yeah.
right? There's
Yeah.
especially for HR heads. They're really
Yeah.
busy.
Yeah.
So sometimes you also have to, study on your own, read on your own. For me, that's very important.
Yeah, yeah. Kasi ang daming tao nagi-give up na 'pag binabalik sa kanila yung mga tanong, eh, 'di ba? Like what you said before na, "Kaya nga ako nagtatanong kasi hindi ko alam yung sagot." And a lot of us expect the spoon feeding. What which
Right.
we've experienced when we were very young, diba? Everyone spoon feeds you the information. Everyone just gives you, ito talaga yung dapat mong gawin, ito yung tamang solusyon. But in the real world, in the corporate world, most people will not tell us what to do. Babalikin
Right.
nila sa atin yung tanong and say, so you have a problem. Why are you giving me a problem? Why don't you give me a solution? Kasi by
Correct.
telling your boss this problem, pinapasa mo na sa kanya. 'Di ba? Hindi mo sinosolve yung problema na pinasok mo. If
Correct.
that's the case, 'di ba? Parang ang hirap kasi 'di ba even if they are studying, uh sometimes you have to study, 'di ba? HR ka, but you don't know much about business. You don't know much about law. You took up law too, right? So
Right.
it's such a daunting task to learn how the business works if nobody wants to talk to you. 'Di ba,
Correct. Correct.
pumunta ka ng marketing, 'di ka papansinin. Punta ka ng operations, wala nang papansin sa'yo. Where do you start?
Well, actually, like what I said, I invest in myself. No,
Mm.
it's a very good start because technically, I'm not an HR. I mean, I'm not a psychology. I'm not an HRDM when I started in HR.
Hmm,
Technically, so it's totally a different environment for me. But then, it's very important. It's good thing right now that there's Google. It's good
hmm,
thing right now there's a lot of free trainings, right?
hmm.
Because during when I started,
Library
when
card.
you really have to enroll, you really have to read books. And actually in HR during that time, there's no a lot of books that we can read, right?
Hmm,
So ang one of the advice of my friend before is kabisaduhin mo yung labor code.
hmm,
There you will find everything.
hmm,
Actually, pag kinabisado mo siya, sometimes it's not applicable um on a practical basis
hmm, hmm,
because sometimes you have to decide on what is the norms, what is important, and what your client needs.
hmm,
Because you cannot find that. Being an HRBP, you cannot find that in labor code, right? I mean,
hmm,
if you have problem in terms of performance, what would be the best solution that you can do? What would be the best programs that you can implement?
hmm. Ang nangyayari kasi yung mga tao nagtatanong na sa Philippine HR group, eh. 'Di ba nakikita mo sometimes na parang,
Right?
my boss asked me to like do a KPI for the team. How am I going to do that? And I'm like, I don't know your team, I don't know your boss, and I don't know what you
Correct.
need. 'Di ba? Parang how am I gonna
That's right.
help you? Right? Coach Darwin, what do you think, no? Mute, muted.
For the question that uh, papaano magsa-start ang fresh graduate to really learn the ropes in HR, I would say that the first thing you do is three things. One is to
Mm,
understand um, the role that is given to you. If you're given an analyst position, you have to be an expert of that. So meaning, lahat dapat ng expected sa'yo within your job description and even beyond your job description, dapat alam mo. Kasi yun ang minimum requirement dun sa position at responsibilities mo. So dapat na-meet mo yung minimum or you're above minimum. Second is that, sabi nga ni Paul, you have to expand your horizon in making sure that you learn not only from the people around you, but from the people or external groups outside your organization. You can either invest in yourself in terms of schooling, attending certification, attending workshops. Also, uh, one thing that I did before is I would always have a mentor. At yung mentor ko, dalawang klase. Yung mentor na alam niya na mentor ko siya, na talagang kinakausap ko siya lagi, ano ko, nag-aasa ko ng mga ng resolutions about my questions, at yung mentor na idol ko sa industry. Kasi ito yung
Ah.
mentor, ito yung tipong taong mentor na sinusundan ko lahat ng speaking engagement niya, lahat ng write-ups sa kanya, at also ito yung mentor na pag nag-isip ako about isang problem, ang iisipin ko is, paano kaya isosolve to ni mentor? 'Di ba? Ano yung, how will my mentor resolve this particular issues or problem? Given
Mm.
that I have both a mentor that provides me direct information and a mentor that I look up
Mm.
to. Yung third
Tama.
would be um, uh, being able to, and this is very important, hindi ka magiging successful sa HR, sabi nga ni Paul, kung hindi mo alam yung business. Kung ang alam mo lang ay yung pasikot-sikot sa HR, you won't succeed. Kasi kailangan
Mm.
alam mo paano kumikita si company. Ano yung produkto nyo, ano yung services nyo, papaano yung costing. Ano yung relationship ng buong operation cycle sa human capital. Kasi kung hindi mo makikita 'yon, kung hindi mo yung relationship ng ng production processes, impact nito sa mga tao, then you will fail. Kasi paano ka makakapag-isip strategically kung wala ka
Mm.
namang first-hand information, wala kang relationship sa stakeholders at sa mga employees. So yun yung, for me, that's a top three. That's
Mm.
what I can
Sa akin,
share.
parang from what to summarize what you've said, because both of you has said, is that a lot of HRs kasi they're too focused on the contract that they've signed on, the job description that they've accepted at the start of the employment, the salary that they've accepted. And when they come in, parang oh ito yung trabaho ko at ito lang talaga yung trabaho ko, and anything beyond my job description sakit sa ulo. Which is why 'di ba yung may topics ngayon ng quiet quitting. And the challenge
Mm-mm.
that both Paul and Coach Darwin was saying is that parang success or being an HRBP, you can't have this type of mindset. Kasi napakaliit lang talaga yung trabaho mo ngayon sa dapat mong alamin beyond your job description, beyond your team, beyond the HR, beyond the business talaga, and beyond yung sa fits local industry. Ang dami mo pang pwedeng matutunan kung gusto mo lang talagang umakyat. Kasi kung gusto mo yung sahod mo hanggang dyan lang, edi just do your role and do it perfectly. But if you want to rise up on a leadership role, you have to equip yourself with more knowledge beyond just how to compute the overtime pay or your
Agree.
comp ben. Because napansin mo yung kay Sir Paul, hindi siya tumigil sa comp ben. Specialty
Right.
niya comp ben ha, pero hindi lang siya tumigil ng comp ben, nag-project management pa siya, nag-business development pa siya, nag-labor relations pa siya, back end to end talaga. Sir Paul, hindi ka ba napagod? 'Di ba? Bakit hindi ka lang nag-stick sa isa? Kasi lahat na pinasok mo, lahat na ng posisyon pinasok mo. Bakit hindi ka tumigil?
Actually, Coach Tina, it's really good for you to explore other facets of HR. It's really good for you to learn a lot. Technically, sabi ko nga, for me, I've been in HR for almost 16 years now. But every day is a new experience. It's a new
Mm.
learning for me. It's not the same as, oh, you have cases yesterday, it will be your case today. No, it's not like that. And dealing with employees on just not only one one facet as a whole is really a good learning opportunity for us. For me siguro with to connect with the kanina no yung question kanina, higher salary or higher position. For me, I started with a very low salary when I started. But for me it doesn't matter. I think that's one of the new generation are looking at. They wanted to landed a job with a very high paying salary already.
Mm.
For me kasi it's very important that you learn first your craft. Kasi
Mm.
when you're expert on your craft, technically the salary will follow,
Right. Mm.
right?
Mm. Yeah, pero in your experience nga 'di ba, parang ang dami mong nagawa. So what would you recommend with mga people talaga na parang bored? Kasi 'di ba you said 15 years in the industry, you're still interested because every day is a brand new day for you. Pero sa ibang tao, burnout na sila, pagod na sila, bored na sila sa trabaho. I mean, why is there a disconnect between your experience, 15 years na, and their experience sa kakagraduate pa lang nila?
That's right. I think what they have to do is to enjoy every single moment, every single experience that they have. If you are just only focused on dapat hindi ko to ginagawa, dapat ito lang yung gagawin ko, that's very limiting. Limiting in terms of experience, limiting in terms of knowledge. And I think actually I'm also I believe on what my boss said before na ang HR hindi para sa lahat ng tao.
Mm.
So technically, an HR is really a passion. I would say it's a vocation because sometimes if naman employees, if you give your one hand, they want your whole body, right?
Mm.
And same
Mm.
thing with management. But for me, working in HR is really well. Actually, I don't have plans of working in HR before. Actually, without the influence of Kuya Darwin Rivers,
Ala!
I wouldn't
Darwin,
be
may
in
hidden
HR.
story ba yan? Coach Dar, may hidden story ba yan? Mamaya, teka lang, sandali ah. Oh.
But you know what? I enjoyed it. I
May
really
pera
enjoyed it.
naman, Paul. Sir
Oo,
Paul.
oo naman.
Kasi 'di
It's
ba
really
yung lahat ng tao
rewarding.
nagrereklamo bakit minimum na daw sila sa HR. Can you share with them the
Yeah.
brighter side of being an HRBP, the financial brighter side? Confidential,
Actually,
confidential.
right.
Pero,
That's right. Like what I said when I started, it's just 10,000 when
yeah!
I started. That's
Mm,
only 10,000. But as you
mm,
grow, I mean, sabi ko nga, if you're expert on your craft, if you're really learning a lot, if you have a lot of knowledge in HR and you apply for a higher position, that would be, I would say, financially rewarding. Um, just for the past three organizations that I work with, I would say I'm the highest paid employee as an HR practitioner.
mm,
But
mm.
well, I would not mention the figure, no.
Yeah,
But
syempre
it's really
naman.
rewarding. Actually, just to share you a short story with my mom. 5 years ago, I guess, I told my mom I would like to resign. He said why? Because I wanted to apply for another organization who can offer me better salary because I know I'm more than for that salary already. And she said, "How much are you looking at ba?" Sabi ko sa
Ah.
kanya, "Actually, nag-a-apply ako. I'm asking for 300,000." And then
Ah.
she said, "Nasisiraan ka na ba ng bait? Meron ba nagbibigay ng
Oh,
sweldo na ganyan
no.
kalaki?"
Ho, ho, ho.
Diba? So, I mean, those amount is actually
Yeah.
you can actually achieve those amount if you are
Yes.
best in your craft and if you're learning a lot, if you have a lot of knowledge. For me, you have to learn because that will be your ano ba to, yun yung magiging sandata mo para sabihin na I deserve more.
Mm. A lot of people think that hundreds of thousands for an HR is already big kasi a lot of the starting salary of our HR kababayans is minimum up until 20,000, right? So people think na ang layo naman from 15,000, let's assume, to 300,000. But I can tell you for a fact that there are companies who are offering and actively really looking for HR managers at 100, 200, 300,000 or more range kasi they're
More.
asking me nga for referrals or for ano their openings, mga openings, mga headhunters will come in. And a lot of people are saying ang laki talaga ng variance between 15 to 300. And that's the beauty of the HR field is that ang laki talaga. Same amount of laway, same amount of energy, same 26 to 30 days in a month. And yet, the earning capacity of somebody who is a real HRBP is so much more than a regular HR officer. It blows your mind away. O, diba? Coach
Right.
Darwin?
Siguro in terms of rewarding, the rewards of being an HR is not only financial, but also psychological and emotional. Throughout your career, you will see that people value you more because of the things that you do for them. the things that you do
Mm.
for the organization, and the things that you really provide them inside or outside work. That itself is very rewarding. I mean, I'm sure marami kayong mga anecdotal experiences na ang mga empleyado umiiyak sa inyo, ginagawa kayong psychiatrist, na talagang lahat na lang na po pwede niyong sabihin at mapagaan yung loob ng tao, nagagawa ng HR. And after that, at nakita mo na yung tao yun nag-grow, nag-prosper, it's that something that di ba, the very fulfilling, or you were able to mentor someone na from being an HR specialist, naging HR director, di ba? That's very fulfilling. In terms of financial, Philippines alone, if you will see the latest report in
Mm.
terms of for 2022, the report for HR leaders, it goes up to 800,000.
Ah! No, but it's real. It's a real amount.
Okay.
It's not
Yes, it's
because
a
a
real
lot of people
account.
are saying na parang
Per
walang
month
pera sa
yun per month.
HR.
Mm.
Follow your passions. There's money in those passions. I can really
Correct.
verify kasi there's so many and ito pa, ang hirap pa maghanap si headhunter ng to fill up those slots
That's
because
Correct.
right.
not a lot of people locally are equipped, and those that are equipped are happy in their jobs. Meaning to say,
Agree.
ayaw nilang bumitaw sa company nila kasi kahit na mas mababa ng konti, they like the company, they like the culture, they like the people they're with. So sobrang pahirapan talaga ang bayad ng headhunters. 'Di ba? How much ang percentage ba ng headhunters, just to emphasize, Coach Dar, para alam ng tao how much companies are willing to pay people
Normally,
just to
it's yeah.
source?
Normally, it's 18% of your annual or your 1 month pay
18% ng
of your
annual. So for
annual. So
800,000 times
times
0.18.
12.
So that's
Mm.
150,000 already. Pag 1 month by 1.7 million just for the headhunter to chase
Correct.
after you. That's how
Agree.
valuable those roles are, 'di ba? Pero I
Pero
think Paul, oo,
na,
oo.
it will depend again on three things: the revenue generation of the company, the size of the organization, and if the company is a local conglomerate or a multinational company. Hindi ko sinasabi na lahat ng company kaya magbigay
Malaki.
ng 300 to
Right.
800,000 for an HR leader. Ang sinasabi ko lang, these are real amounts that is now being given to HR leaders in the Philippines, not only because of their competence, but because of the impact that they give to the organizations.
You also have to understand that these positions are not for international or foreigners kasi you need to be Filipino din to be a
Correct.
better HR to fellow Filipinos kasi a Filipino can communicate properly, can empathize properly. There is really a significant competitive edge for a local Filipino who speaks and grew up here to manage a international company based in the Philippines. 'Di ba no, Paul? Have you worked
That's
for
right.
companies like that? Iba ba
That's
pag
right.
foreigner yung HR head ng local here locally?
Actually, yeah, I have experience with my previous company, who is actually a multinational company as well. But
Mm,
we're actually two HR heads. They
mm,
one HR head for the Chinese national and one HR head for local national. Technically,
mm,
we don't hire foreigner as an HR
mm,
practitioner because they don't know how to implement our labor law. That's actually
mm,
the main reason of that. But
mm.
yeah, it is actually most of the multinational companies are actually hiring local HR leaders.
But what do multinational companies look for in hiring an HR leader? Kasi you need to upscale yourself. And you can't just know about comp ben. They're looking for something talaga in order for them to hire you. There is, and how can like the people who are watching equip themselves on that?
Mhm.
Ako, Tina,
Um,
let me answer that
Mm,
before Paul. The only way that you'll be able to increase your value in the market is by making sure that you have milestones in each and every company that you've been to. Ibig sabihin,
mm,
you have achieved something for that organization. For example, you came from your previous organization, you were able to save 10 million because of a certain project that drive efficiency and effectivity for the organization. Hindi mo kasi po pwedeng sabihin na ano eh, hindi ka pwedeng magbigay ng anecdotal. Lahat 'yan kailangan
Mm.
lahat 'yan kailangan may
Proof.
kailangan may references, may proof, may numbers, may data. So for
Mm.
example, you've said that in my previous company from an attrition of 60.5 annual, we were able to lower it to 30.5. So
Mm.
may ganon, 'di ba? Merong basehan. So hindi mo pwedeng sabihin, ay napababa kay attrition ng previous company ko, ay nakapag-save kami ng pera. Meron dapat data, meron dapat numbers kasi anecdotals are just you're just storytelling. It's
Tama.
like a fairy tale. But providing data and providing a whole description of your achievements, of how you're able to impact organizations, that's where your value lies.
Mm. Paul?
That's right. That's right. I agree with Coach Darwin. No, um, it's not always what you know, because technically during the interview you will tell them what you know, and that's expected. What is not expected is what are the projects, the accomplishments that you have contributed with your previous companies, and
Mm.
what are the future contribution that you can give to the organization. So
Mm.
those are the very critical items that you have to apply for an
Mm.
HR leader.
Mm. There is an anecdote that was said nga that a famous airline company, yung eroplano hindi gumagana. And everyone's trying to figure out what the problem was. So they hired many specialists and everyone tried to fix it and nobody could fix it. And so they finally found somebody who's like worth a lot of money. Let's assume like $100,000. And he goes like he comes in, he looks at the airplane and then like flicks a switch and then the airplane like starts to like move again. And everyone says like, ayun lang pala eh, bakit kailangan kang bayaran ng $100,000 just to flip a switch? And he's like, okay, can you give me a SOA, statement of account? And he's like, for sure. Flipping a switch, $1, right? 900, whatever. The rest is knowing which switch to flip. And I think like that's HRBP eh. Kasi when people say HRBP, parang napaka general, napaka walang masyadong meaning siya eh. But being a real HRBP is a culmination of many years of learning and experience so that you can make the right decisions at the right time that would save a company a lot of money in the future. 'Di ba? It's not something that you can get na pag-graduate mo HRBP ka kaagad. It
That's right.
has to be a culmination of many years and experiences of constant learning. Hindi pwede nag-take ka na. Kasi ang lot of people, mama nung course para maging magaling. Hindi, dapat it's not a course. It's a lifestyle. It's the way you think. It's how you approach problems. Every time you go into a new company, you look around, you look for problems, and you try to solve them one by one. And only after many different experiences, companies, departments, talking to people, then after that, alam mo na kung anong gagawin mo pag may crisis na. There is no shortcut to it, eh, diba, Paul, Darwin? Is there a way for you to be like you? Automatic? Kasi ba lahat, I wanna be like you. Parang sa akin, ang tagal pa nun eh, diba? Years and years, decades and decades of constant learning. Constant learning. You can't
Mm.
stop. Because once you stop, lalo na sa industry natin, parang laos ka na. A lot of
Mm.
experts in our field, 2 years nagbakasyon, pagbalik, laos na. Nobody knows them anymore.
Right.
Diba? Like, what do you think?
Ako
Right.
I always believe that no one has a monopoly of knowledge, and your value would always be on the amount the value that you bring into the organization. And you can only bring something to the organization if you have the experience, the maturity, the skills. So
Mm.
that's something that for me is non-negotiable.
Paul, you took up, diba, you have a JD, you have a CHRP, I think, did you take up business as well, or ano? So for
I
you to,
actually as yeah I actually took certifications for organizational development as well with Ateneo.
mm,
For me kasi learning is really a non-stop thing for us, especially in HR. And technology is really highly changing, and we have to adapt to that. Not only with technology, we also have to understand the generations, because technically that's very important, because HR is handling working with business, but you're mostly of most handling, I mean, working with employees as well, and you have to understand that if you stop learning, if you don't do it regularly, you will forget everything. Maiiwan ka, especially with the generation, with the new generation are coming in. There's a lot of differences from the previous generation that you have to learn as well. So you have to be equipped. You have to make yourself abreast of what's happening right now and what are um the new practices that you would have. There's a lot of new practices that you really have to learn.
And then Tina,
Mm.
just to add siguro, no, this is for me very important. Um, a lot of managers are saying na, naku, wala naman akong time para mag-mentor. Wala akong time para isa-isahin ko pa yung mga dapat malaman ng mga tao under sa akin. Okay, wala kang time. You cannot give time. Ito gawin mo. Sponsor the person to be educated and skilled. If make sure that you allot a budget, or on your own sponsor the person to be enrolled in a certification course or a diploma course that would enhance the person, kasi kailangan makita ng tao na tinutulungan mo siya. Hindi pwedeng puro lip service lang yan. And of course, it's also giving back. Di ba, Tina?
Mm.
We've
Mm.
always known this.
Mm.
If you give back to the community, if you give back, if you share your knowledge, if you share your blessings, it it not only shows how good person you are, but also it creates a ripple effect, not only to the person that you're helping, but also to the other people that this person might be helping in the future.
Mm. Sa akin, to comment on that, the Philippine HR group has almost 280,000 members, and there is no shortage of people who will always say na they want to learn, they want to be successful, they want their careers to be very good. Pero sa dami ng tao na gustong maging successful, I have also noticed that not a lot of people take the action. Yung nakikita mo, alam mo talaga sino yung maging successful. On their spare time, nagbabasa. On their spare
Yeah.
time, nanonood ng YouTube. Hindi nanonood ng Netflix para ng Korean drama. Pero mga nag-YouTube on labor laws, nagbabasa ng mga jurisprudence, nagbabasa sa Philippine HR group, nakikita mo sila mag-comment. When they comment, yung mga comments nila nagiging mas matalino over time. As they read through the comments of the other experts, they learn too. And then later on, makikita mo, nagko-comment na rin sila, gumagaling sila. If you've noticed sa mga HR cafe guest speakers natin, there is a commonality with all our guest speakers talaga. Coach Darwin, pansinin mo, they are always the people who never stop learning.
Learning.
I'm not kidding.
Correct.
Sobrang successful na nila. 'Di ba? They come from good schools, good jobs, high salary, but they never stop learning. They're always taking certifications. They're going to trips, they're going to seminars. They find mentors amongst themselves. Grabe, 'di ba? Parang isipin mo, it's not really about the opportunities out there, because there's so many opportunities out there. Kahit matutulong kayo sa Philippine HR group, magbasa lang kayo. Wala kayong alam sa HR. After like 1 year, pag nagbabasa ka ng comments, sobrang maging expert ka na ng 'di ba? Labor relations. Ano mangyari kung nag-awol, ano nangyari pag nagdole, ano nangyari. Nandun na lahat sa Philippine HR group. Dati wala yun, 'di ba? Library lang tayo. Wala eh, 'di ba? Parang those, pero a lot of people are saying parang, what courses should I take? And I'm like, oh my gosh! Lahat nandun na, 'di ba? Kulang pa. Ano pa bang kailangan namin sabihin para sa'yo? What do you think? Paul, nakaka-frustrate sometimes.
But sabi ko nga kanina, Coach Tina, no, it's really good that there's a lot of avenue right now for us to learn in HR. Because before
Mm.
talaga, kung wala kang pera at hindi ka dadalhin ng kumpanya mo sa training, you will not learn. But right now, there's really a lot of avenue. Like what you said, Philippine HR Group is really bringing the HR practice to the highest level because
Mm.
there's a lot of people really helping. There's a lot of HR leaders. There's a lot of HR mentors who's really helping everyone on how to learn HR. Actually, yung mga pinopost lang ng questions. For example, there's somebody posted how to compute the overtime pay. May mga questions pa yun sa baba. And there are pre-training, pre-giveaways that you get on how to do that. Alam mo yon, sobrang helpful talaga. Unlike before, na you don't have any choice but to enroll to a training. My training before, it's a labor relations 101. It's just a half day training. I spent I think 8,000 pesos,
Mm.
and
Mm.
that's how expensive it is before. But right now, there's really a lot of avenue. Actually, some of my
Ito,
teams,
right.
right, that's right. One of my team, I told him, if you really want to learn, you go to YouTube. You check on HR trainings that you can take advantage of. Labor relations is there, compensation and benefits is there. There's a lot that you will learn.
Mm. Coach. And we're almost at the end of the show. Last words,
Correct.
Paul. Then ako naman, then si Coach Darwin will be the one to close the show.
All right. Again, thank you everyone. And for you to be a very good HR leader in the future, spend time to read, to study, to watch trainings, and to engage yourself in a very HR dynamic group like Philippines HR Group. It's really a good learning. It's really a good experience for everyone, and you will learn a lot from it. Thank you.
Sa akin, I like to highlight that a lot of people pretend to learn. 'Di ba? So for example, mag
Yeah.
enroll sila ng course. Tapos nakikinig sila sa HR Cafe, for example, which is free, or HR Calabarzon, which is also free. Mag enroll sila, tapos later on, hingi sila ng free certificate or may bayad ng konti sa HR Calabarzon. And sa akin, that's not learning. That's just you pretending to learn if you do not listen to what the speakers are truly trying to tell you. A lot of people, kasama ako ng Philippine HR group so natututo ako sa HR, PHRG. Binabasa mo ba talaga yung mga every question, tapos yung mga comments, tapos yung mga comments on comments? Kasi ako, di ba sabi mo, parang I'm a moderator already and an admin. But I still take the time to read the comments because you can learn so many things from the comments even if the comments are wrong. Kasi there will be people will say legal basis. And then you will say, nakakita mo later on, minsan walang sumasagot kasi naipit, napahiya. And then dapat ikaw, you have to Google or at least do your own research na, teka, bakit mali yung sinabi ng tao na yun? Then, for example, if the topic is about drugs, right? Na positive ang drugs, pwede ba tanggalin yung tao? Tapos, sinasabi na tao, yes, tatanggalin mo, pwede mo siyang i-terminate. Then you can do your own research and just type in Google, drugs, termination, Philippines. And then you can read so much wealth on legal ba or hindi. Kasi it's
Mhm.
all in your hands. A
Correct.
lot of us kasi, we just read, scroll, read, scroll. Ay, natuto ba? Natuto ka ba? Kasi kung nagsascan ka lang, hindi ka talaga natututo. Kunwari lang, natututo ka for your own ego. Pero sa totoo lang, wala ka naman pumapasok. Hindi mo naman naiintindihan. Kaya the next time, magtatanong ka na naman uli, legal ba mag-terminate ng tao pag na positive sa drugs, 'di ba? That's the reason why we get so many repetitive questions over and over. 13th month pay, paano kasama ba ang regular holiday? Kasi and then November 1 regular holiday ba? My friends, November 1 is not a regular holiday, hindi yan double pay, ah. 'Di ba? Eh kasi 'di ba sa amin kasi da dating company ko, ano yan, double pay. Mag-research ka, be. Hindi ka pwede maging HR business leader pag kunyari ito pa lang, which is easily Googleable, hindi mo man lang ginugel. 'Di ba? So for me talaga, it's not just words. It's really a mindset, a way to move forward, not just in your job, but also everywhere else on how you live your life. Because people who always come in with eyes wide open, ears wide open, and really read through and comprehend concepts day by day will inevitably become an HR business partner. But if you're just going to browse through life, browse through the Philippine HR group, browse through all the comments, and then pretend na gumagaling ka, ang dami mo ng certifications. Bakit pag kunyari tinanong ka ng boss mo, mali pa rin yung sagot? Kasi nga, hindi mo naintindihan yung concept. Tapos magtatanong ka later on, ma'am, bakit ako napagalitan ng boss mo? Kasi naman may gulay. 'Di ba? So sa akin, parang anyone can be a HR business partner, especially now. Wala siyang age description, age limit, income limit, school limit. Nobody cares where you went to school anymore. As long as you have the experience and the achievements to back it up. But so many little people take the advantage, take the opportunity talaga. Effort lang, my friends. Effort. And you can be as great as Coach Darwin and Sir Paul.
All of us.
All of
Ano,
us.
ano,
All
ano,
of us. All of
ano,
us. All of us.
ah,
Okay, from my
Coach Dar.
end, yeah, from my end, the topic is HR business partner and the importance of HR business partner in an organization. A lot of a lot of companies, especially family-owned or small and medium enterprises, think that the HRBP model would not be applicable to their business. Reality is, sabi nga ni Sir David Ulrich, which is the father of modern HR, mas maganda nga na magsimula ka na HR business model ka na kahit maliit ka pa lang. Kasi ibig sabihin nito, yung mga HR specialist mo, HR leaders mo, mas lumalawak yung experience, mas lumalawak yung understanding ng kung paano sila magiging both tactical and strategic in supporting the business. So, also in becoming a successful HR business partner, sabi nga ni Mentor Tina and Paul Herrera, it's always up to you. It's always a matter of choice, a matter of choosing how you always educate yourself, abreast yourself of the best practices, and making sure that you be humbled enough to understand that hindi lahat alam mo. Kasi doon magsa-start yun eh. If you're humble enough to know that you don't know everything, then use that knowledge to be able to drive yourself to absorb more and more experience and knowledge. So that's another episode of the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa. We will see you not next week because next week is a long holiday and we would like to give you guys opportunities
Visit.
to celebrate your the All Saints Day and enjoy your long
Halloween.
holidays. Yes, and your Halloween, syempre, for the kids. We will be back next week for another episode of free learning here at the HR Cafe, Usapang Trabaho, Buhay, Iba Pa. Happy Sunday, everyone. God bless. Bye.